Good morning, happy Friday. It is day 14 of audiobook month. We have a Stella Hunter mug, we have our Jacoby JIAM hoodie, and now I can't unsee it. This is a pairing that I need in my life, just saying. So today I thought we could talk about narration styles. So there are a few different ones. We have solo, which I think is self-explanatory. You just have the one narrator that does everything. Then we have dual, which is generally speaking 2 narrators. It can be more, depending on how many point of view chapters you have, where they will do all the voices in the chapter for their character, regardless as to who is in that chapter. They do it all. And then we have duet, which is slightly different. I'm going to describe this as a male-female story, but of course there are other pairings. But for the essence of this, for me, I feel it's just easier to describe it this way. So duet is where you have 2 or more characters and they each have their own voice. So in the heroine's chapter, she will voice all of the heroine, but she will also voice all of the heroine in other chapters. And so basically it's her voice throughout. Likewise for the male narrator, he will do all of the male voices regardless as to whose chapter they're in. We have multicast. Some people will call it a full cast or a multicast in duet. I don't know if that's just my misunderstanding of it, but for me, if I saw multicast, I would assume it's a duet style because each character has their own voice. Some will have a voice actor do multiple voices, but they will be their characters, and often you'll get a contents at the beginning or at the end of who voiced who. And then we have graphic audio, which is all singing, all dancing. You've got the sound effects and music and things like that, so it's more dramatic. And we also have kind of hybrid versions as well. So you will say, for example, have a dual narration story, but when emails are exchanged or text messages, that part will be in duet. And I'm sure other types of situations as well. I think the listening style that you like is your choice. It's your preference. You like what you like to listen to. I do think the problem comes in when you start to assume that because you like it, everybody should like it, and authors should do it in a style that you want and demand that of an author. That's not okay. You don't know their budget, you don't know their production situation, you don't know how they are producing the book. Let's not be entitled. But absolutely share if you prefer a narration style over another, because it's good for people to scroll and see what people are liking, and who knows, you might turn somebody into your style who preferred a different style because they found a book that you recommended that showed that style in a better light. I personally feel like solo and dual showcase a narrator's talent more than the other types of narration, just because they're having to do it all. Right? The book is on their shoulders. They are voicing all of the characters, and oh my goodness. The kind of standard has been solo and dual. duet is becoming more popular and is being used a lot more than it was when I first started. And I definitely think there's a place for it. I love Joel, but I do feel like it has to be right. It has to be the right book. What I will attempt to do is put some recommendations for each of the narration styles. What I won't do is do one for graphic audio because I haven't listened to one. I don't know, I think the thought of music and sound effects and stuff is distracting to me. So I haven't really dived into that. Apart from there's been a couple of audio plays that have done it and have done it well. But if we're thinking like full-on graphic audio, I haven't taken that dive yet. And hey, maybe I should. Maybe you've got a good recommendation. But see what style works for you. Let me know in the comments. What do you prefer? Is there one book that made that style be amazing for you? I would say I think my first duet was, I think it was Amy Dawes, but I do think in the romance community at least, Amy kind of spearheaded that. Could be mistaken. For Joel, I want to say it was The Submission Sarahs by C.D. Rees. What a way to start. Joe Raylan and Christian Fox. And if we're talking about preferences, it would be a travesty to have had that book be a duet. I need Joe Raylan's male voice. Just saying. My first solo were the first books that I listened to. The whole intro to audiobooks as an adult was solo, because a lot of that is like third person, which makes perfect sense. Multicast. Pretty sure it was Birthday Suit by Lauren Blakely, where people finally jumped on the Jason Clarke train. You can lead them to water, right? But you can't force them to drink until it's in their face. But yeah, let me know what yours are, and if you're going to pick up any of these books, if you've read any. Have a fantastic Friday. If you were at Book Bonanza, I hate you. No, I love you. Go give the narrators a high five because, you know, personal space and all that.